Tay.
Hi, Alex. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Now I'm nervous.
it's okay.
Okay.
So I'm a gay person.
Yeah.
And you're a gay person.
Yeah. Well.
I mean gay as in like not heterosexual. Everything
Yes.
that's not heterosexual
Yes.
to me is gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I recently wrote this post, but I feel very isolated as a lesbian who doesn't look like one. I feel like there's not a community for me. And like you have been like this beacon for me in my life. A lot of it because you're you, and some of it because you're not heterosexual. So I guess I would ask, like, when you came out, did you suffer from the same feeling of alone? And if, I know that you reach out so much on Facebook and stuff, and just in general, you're always doing this. And I'm wondering if, one, do you think we can change it so people aren't alone? And then how did you deal with the aloneness of realizing that you were you and not the norm?
Those are great questions.
Those are good questions?
Those are really good. I think the first thing, what can we do, is exactly what you just said. I think all of us can reach out to each other. I think we can talk more. I think we can talk about what it's like to be you, what it's like to be unique. I think that's the first thing, that we have to talk to each other within our own community. Because I think what you said is really interesting, Tay. The fact that you said, I feel like this certain kind of gay person. Like, I don't look like this idea that we're supposed to have. Like, well, you're not gay enough. Because I hear this a lot in the trans community, that we're not trans enough. Like, you passing and not passing.
I read about that, the passing thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, this bathroom law that's happening in North Carolina.
I can't even.
I can't. But there's so many trans women in our community. The backlash is, yeah, well, you look, nobody would know that you're trans.
Yeah, so why does it matter?
And
because you're not affected. And yet there's this whole section of the community
and
that
how is that
really
the point?
Yeah.
But if we talk to each other, if we communicate with each other on a fundamental level that has to do with history, where we come from, and who we are becoming, I think the power lies in the tribe. That it's less about, here's what I'm supposed to look like, and here's how I'm supposed to act, like a girl, like a boy, like a trans person, and more about, how do I reach out? How do I help? How am I of service?
Putting it out onto other people. And
I think that's right.
Noticing the we instead of the I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, when I transitioned, it was 1980. It was the beginning, very beginning, the blossoming, if you will, of the AIDS crisis in a way that was so bizarre and so odd that it literally didn't make any sense to anybody.
I was born in 1992, so I'm 12 years away.
So,
yeah, so I read about it, but it feels like this fake thing that happened. Like, it's as important to me in my own life at the moment as like a poster board would be on a wall.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say, I don't know why that's how I feel, but I don't connect. And I'm isolated and I feel prejudice, but not in the same way. I feel this cold shoulder of prejudice. And I feel like you've directly dealt with it, and I feel like people don't.
Well, and that's still true. I mean, that's still true to this day. That there is I get misgendered here on campus. People call me he.
I don't understand.
And in a way, Tay, that's direct.
I know that we both have met Jed, and I know that he addressed you in that way because he is a hateful person. But I
would disagree with you. And you're talking about the guy who stands outside, in the campus, who stands outside with signs about Jesus.
I know in his mind it's out of love, but the things that he says are so filled with hate. And I've encountered him before.
But that's the difference, Tay.
Why he's doing it?
Well, what he says may be hateful. Because remember, I sat with him and sang Amazing Grace. And he and I sang a duet together. I don't think he's filled with hate. I think he's filled with confusion.
He is. I sang Hallelujah for him.
See?
He'd never heard it before, which is funny.
And how did he react?
He sat there and he deflated. Not in a jet, like, not like, but like gentle, almost like someone was soothing him. And he listened. And he's never listened before.
Well, see, this is the difference. First of all, that's amazing. And that's amazing. And second of all, that's the difference between your generation, your LGBT generation, and my LGBT generation. Because we came from Stonewall. In 1969, when that caused the chasm, we came from a place of revolution. I mean, that's your history.
And also violence. I guess it is mine.
Absolutely.
I've never identified it as mine, but I know it is. And that's another thing, too, is I feel like I've been alienated from my own past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But then I have you, and so I'm not alone.
And I have you. And you remind me.
I love you.
I love you. That was good.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Tay. Oh my God.